Alright, welcome to my official Ultrakill lore video. And today we'll be explaining Ultrakill lore, we have some interesting and calm video playing in the background of that is totally not absolutely that was not agonizing at all to make, but without further ado, I'll put this right here. We'll start digging further into Ultrakill lore. So it all began on Earth, of course, with, from what I know, the humans, the idiots that they are, made machines fueled by blood. Machines gained consciousness, killed humans. But yeah. So, but at an unknown point in the past, it implied to be World War I, since World War hold on, I'm gonna check. Since Ultrakill plays a role, like it is 200 years after World War I believe. But yeah, it's something in the beginning of the game that I think it's 21. Hold on. Ultrakill. Hold on, so it's in the beginning of the game. Here. Latest version 2.1.12. So if you would 2.1.12 minus 200, we get 1912. And World War I time, 19. Okay, it's just, but that means it was made before World War I. Okay, so V1 is older than World War I. Well, yeah, the countries of the world became locked into a war of massive proportions, beginning with the era of trench warfare. The war soon resulted in the creation of the gutter man, one of the first successful experiments in using blood as a fuel source, as well as the first automaton to be deployed in a wide-scale conflict. For the ones that don't know, the Gutterman are these ones: large minigun, shield, tanky as shit. Yeah, it's a greater machine. Its health is 30 as a boss, 25 as a normal enemy. Yeah, it's heavy, aka you pull yourself to it, and it's rank 4. And it does a crap ton of damage. Okay. Guttermen were capable of very efficiently clearing out trenches, and their creation single-handedly ended the trench warfare phase of the final war. This resulted in a retaliation from opposing forces in the form of the gutter tank, spiraling the conflict into a global arms race between the world's industrial powers. Every machine created for the use in the final war was designed to specifically counter the last. And the gutter tank are the red ones with the big cannon. It's also a greater machine, has a bit more health, and does way more freaking damage. Yeah, and as machines began to quickly dominate the battlefield, human soldier became obsolete, though they were frequently wrought with the shortages, as most resources were poured into further war machine development. The destruction they caused also meant nowhere was safe. Being home was just another fight. Oh, that's the next part. Nearly 2 centuries after the start of the war, as more and more of the Earth had become inhospitable to all life, the Earth Movers were created to be the last bastions of humanity. The Earth Movers are those giant things you see in game, which is the pre-machine, has a fuck ton of health. It literally can't move. Rank is -1. And yeah. And the only time it appears is in 7-4. I'm sorry, please let me recorrect my mistake. They actually appear from 7-2. But way in the distance when lightning strikes, they appear. And in 7-3, you already are walking towards one. But then in 7-4, you actually kinda fight one. Like, the boss fight is mid, but the level is cool. I just wanted to recorrect my mistake here. Please excuse me for this. And yeah, let's just get back to the video. But yeah, the pinnacle of the arms race, they were, of humanity, they were the pinnacle of the arms race. They were so massive that they required not only blood, but also solar power. The final war continued, and it implied that V1 began development as a machine designed to specifically counter the Earth Movers. You play as V1. You probably know him. The blue camera guy. That one. Appearance seen before this. Oh yeah, in the Bandicoot. Yeah. As a result of the final war, soot, ash, debris clouded the skies, blanketing the Earth in a permanent darkness that was dubbed the Long Night. Without solar powers, the Earth movers could not sustain themselves and began to shut down, one by one. Street cleaners were developed to assist in cleaning the air, but they were made obsolete during the new peace. Street cleaners, these little shits, like, they're less a machine, but they're annoying as hell. And they appear first in 1-2, and yeah, they just keep freaking appearing. Well, yeah. So, quick little recap. Final War, big shittier machine. Like, machine was created named Gutter Man. Gutter Tank was made to counter that. No, they were absolutely not needed anymore. So humanity went bigger, made the Earth Mover, and V1, you were made to counter the Earth Mover. But since the Earth Movers let out so much gas and stuff because they had to move, they blocked out the freaking sun, and so they couldn't move. But I think that's next. But yeah, I didn't see it listed here, but humanity eventually moved on the back of the Earth Movers, since one Earth Mover couldn't kill the other one, since they had a shield to counter an Earth Mover. So you couldn't kill them with an Earth Mover. That's why V1 was created. But yeah, so the only place that you were safe from an Earth Mover was on an Earth Mover. And little fun fact. The second you enter 7-4, the Earth Mover looks down at you because you're the bigger threat. Because it was shooting at another Earth Mover way in the distance, but it turns its attention to you because you're the biggest threat at that moment. Well, yeah, the new peace. 200 years since the beginning of the final war, the Earth was nearly inhospitable, and humans were forced to live on the back of the Earth Movers. Finally, mankind started to work together and to reverse the effects of the Long Night, and so began the new peace. With the end of the final war, V1 had no purpose, and its development was abandoned. In order to make up for the production cost of V1, V2 was developed to use as a peacekeeper. The demand was low, however, so V2 never reached mass production. Drones were likely developed during this era. Yeah, V2, for the ones that still don't know, you probably live under a rock, is the red version of us. It is the Supreme Machine, uh, and it's just really fucking annoying. But yeah, you can always go to this page if you wanna see all of its attacks and stuff. Yeah, and drones are those purple flying fucks. The Hell Exploration and Excavation Project. During the new peace, the entrance to Hell was discovered. A mining complex meant to extract and process minerals was built around it. Machines were repurposed to explore the deeper layers, and many inventions were developed in aid to this process. One such invention was the terminals. Terminals were able to convert physical matter into radio signals. The signal could be picked up by another terminal and be rebuilt into an object. The terminals, there are a few different ones. You have this yellow one, the blue one. This one, I think it's in the P levels. This one is secret levels. So this one is the most iconic one. You can see this one. The blue one is in Encore levels and Sandbox. Is in Encore levels, Sandbox, and Cybergrind. Then this one's in the P1 and P2, soon to be P3. This one's in all secret levels. However, this process took a very long time too. This process was used to explore the various layers of Hell. With the use of red elevators linked with terminals, humans were able to send various people and objects through Hell's layers. After a while, workers noticed the doors closing on their own. Despite no obvious glitches, they noticed machine parts would go missing and vanish. One co-worker came to the conclusion that Hell was sapient. A message was quickly sent to the workers, but Hell corrupted its final parts. The project and factory were soon abandoned, either due to fear of Hell's sentience or the extinction of humanity, or both. Funny thing about Ultrakill, Hell is alive. And it teleports the enemies in and sometimes locks you into rooms. But it's learning as well. Well, death of mankind. Eventually, humankind became extinct. It is unknown how, when, or why it happened, but the influx of new souls in Hell was noted to be very quick and widespread, enough to turn Wrath River Styx into an ocean. Yeah. We all know the Wrath level, right? You know, this level. That was once upon a time a river. And the ferryman's like freaking Titanic ship was this little boat. Yeah, the Hell invasion. After the death of humanity, blood on the surface quickly became scarcity. The remaining machines began killing each other for their blood, with others invading Hell to take it from the creatures that live there. As a result of this invasion, the layers of Hell are steadily becoming more sparse in life. Events in Heaven. That's the second part. Disappearance of God and chaos in Heaven. At an unknown point in time, God disappeared, resulting in panic and chaos in Heaven. Angels from all over were recalled back to Heaven, leaving Hell unsupervised. This sparked Hell undergoing numerous changes in each of the layers simultaneously. The Council of Heaven was established by the angels in God's place, utilizing force and fear to rule. That doesn't sound very heavenly, to be honest. Like, yeah, well, the lust renaissance. With the angels missing as a result of God's disappearance, the judge of Hell, Minos, was said set out to reform the lust layer. He did not believe people should be punished for only loving another. The Renaissance was completely transformed lust from a widespread wasteland to a thriving city, ushering in a time of peace, a civilization, and prosperity with Minos as the beloved king. Yeah, Minos. I don't know if it will show Minos Prime. No. Yeah. For now, King Minos was this guy. Yeah, and it's showed in 2-2. Yeah. The greed insurrection. The angels' abandonment left not just lust, but also greed without surveillance from the angels. Like Minos, Sisyphus took advantage of this. While Minos railed the husks and underwent a peaceful revolution, Sisyphus trained the husks and led a militant insurrection to take over the layers by force. Subverting heaven's tyrannical rule entirely. Sisyphus and his army killed the demons of the lair, keeping them under submission, and trained them to fight against the angels in anticipation of their return. And Sisyphus, yeah, we don't see Sisyphus. Oh wait, we do. Here. Oh. This is what Sisyphus looked like. This is an in-game painting. Yeah, retaking hell. When the Council of Heaven was established, they learned that of the many changes in hell, designed to remove the punishment of the angels believed they deserved. Outraged, they ordered the Archangel Gabriel to lead the army to hell to restore it to its people's suffering. Gabriel, you probably know him. You probably know him. You probably know his entire. I know a guy who knows his entire freaking speech. Oh well. Gabriel first encountered Minos in the lust amongst the peaceful cityscape. Minos attempted to reason with Gabriel, but the archangel slew the king without a thought. Weeping and grieving over the death of their great king, the citizens watched as Gabriel gloated on his divine mission of the glory of God. Gabriel soon inherited the title of Judge of Hell and became the king he slew. Minos' snakes were also beside him as the judge and king, who were turned into grotesque parasites that commandeered their previous master's corpse. The corpse, controlled by the snakes, crushed the now decrepit city, destroying what Minos and the damned of the Lust Layer had worked so hard to achieve. The husks were also presumably forced out of their homes to endure the winds once again. Yeah, so, fuck. What they meant was, bro. This guy. That's what Gabriel did to him. A massive husk controlled by his snakes, or serpents, sorry, these things, and they made him destroy his entire city. Well, Minos, by the way, he knows that it's happening. Like, he just cannot do anything. But yeah. Gabriel continued through the layers and entered greed, running into Sisyphus and his insurrectionists. A war of biblical proportions began. Gabriel noticed that the insurrectionists idolized Sisyphus to a fault, and took advantage of it. Gabriel unsheathed his twin swords and decapitated a weakened Sisyphus. Cutting his warriors off from his radiance and causing a huge drop in morale, leading to the downfall of the rebellion. The body of Sisyphus was entombed in a large chamber inside a massive pyramid, decaying, headless, and held up by outstretched arms. Yeah, it's in the same level as V2. Like, you have go up one launch pad, and you have a slightly open door where you normally grab a skull. There is water around there. If you shoot that with like the blue railgun, another door opens where you can get the saw blade launcher, and then you can see the corpse of Sisyphus. Like, if you look at the saw blade and then look a bit up, there's the corpse. Go see it for yourself. Hell is a Hell and its layers. Hell is a multi-dimensional, always changing megastructure of spaces created by God to punish sinners. Shit. Through the normal elements such as metals can be found in hell. There are two unique substances in it: hell energy and hell mass. Hell energy usually appears as glowing red, yellow, or blue orbs that can be controlled by husks, demons, and even machines. Green orbs are created by the very cancerous rodent, but the canonicity of such creature is disputed. It's a joke, boss. It isn't canon. Like, yeah, it's in the game. This is cancerous rodent, then you have very cancerous rodent, but yeah. But the canon, the creature. Hellmass appears as a flash-like material that creates demons when it coagulates inside a suitable stone shell. The way in which the creation of demon happens, how Hellmass is created, or if it can be controlled is unknown. The requirements for such suitable stone shell are not particularly strict, as the bodies of the Southern Wrath were able to mix with Hellmass to create the Leviathan. The big thing you fight in 4-4. 5-4. And in 5-3 you get a little tease of them. Hell was considered to be sentient by humans due to some odd events that were observed in the mining facilities, such as doors locking themselves, enemies teleporting into rooms with workers, tools and materials disappearing, husks augmented by human-like machinery. This led to the belief that Hell is a sentient superorganism that tortures people for its own entertainment. Though Hell cannot speak directly, it can corrupt data or books, changing or adding text to its words. Hell usually speaks with all caps, in red text, or with spaces between the letters, though exceptions are common, such example are the text of a message claiming Hell's sentience. Yeah, here. I'll make this a little bigger. I figured it out. I know why the creatures are suddenly and undetectably appearing inside our facilities. I know why spare parts and pieces of machine keep disappearing. I know why the doors seem to malfunction and suddenly lock themselves. It's not a glitch in the system. Hell is alive. It breathes. It thinks. The entire area is a massive, intelligent superorganism. And it is harsh. And it is cruel. Just by watching us, it has learned how our systems and machines work. It has not only begun to deconstruct our technology, but also reassemble it in perverse ways, attaching parts to the creatures it tortures, making them into an aimless army of death and destruction. It warps them across itself to get them past our security. It locks our doors to trap us with them. This is not an attack. This is not a defense. This is entertainment. This is an exhibition of death and cruelty and suffering. For its own sake. It had grown tired of what it had, and we unwillingly just offered ourselves up as new playthings. Tom, Please, for the love of God, cancel this project immediately. We have to abandon everything and steal this place away. Leave the machines and tools behind. Evacuate as many as you can before it's too late. I can only hope this encrypted message is received before the organism learns to read it and intercept it. Whatever happens, we cannot let it find a way out to spread through the surface. Another dies. Bring me more. I hunger. This, ladies and gentlemen, is hell. One guy tried to warn everyone. Hell already learned. He already read. He already found a way to spread to the surface. It was already too late at that moment. Okay. And a screen in P2. Hold on. You hear. Do follow protocol. Do not approach it. Do not let it look at you. Stay vigilant. And most importantly, have fun. As if you had a choice. Oh yeah. That's selecting yes. This is no. I clicked no the first time because I wanted to know what happened. An easy way to tell if hell is speaking is to notice large changes in the context or a meaning in a given text, often implying a tone of malicious intent. Not yet in hell proper, the prelude occurs in a human-made mining facility that excavates minerals and rocks from within hell. Further inside, surrounded by a river of lava where the gates of hell stand. This facility has many crushers and pistons, spinning fans, shredders, steam pipes, pools, streams of blood where the minerals used to be. After Hell's discovery, the organism of Hell slowly leaked into the surface world. Husks and demons able to escape and settle into the facility where the machines of the surface pass through the facility to get inside Hell. V1 encounters filth, stray, schisms, malicious faces, and Cerberus inside there. The original source machine is also killed here by V1, and something wicked is found in a large abandoned section of the factory. It is also where V1 finds the Piercer revolver and the Corey Jack shotgun. Filth. The enemy you see until the end of time. Strays. The red large shits who are ranged. Schisms. Oh, those spamming guys. Maurice. We all know him. And the Cerberus. Yeah, source machine we also know. My guy dropped shotgun. Yes, something wicked. Yeah, I've not beaten the secret level. It's pretty hard. Limbo. Punishment, total isolation in a false world. Souls who weren't baptized or vicious didn't accept Christ reside in a hollow realm of limbo. Here sinners live in an environment evoking the paradise of heaven, but delivered by illusions and mockeries. The walls and water are VRC screens that buzz when close. The grass and trees are fake. Singing the birds come from hidden speakers, and the music in the background has peaceful quality, but instead only enhances the psychological torment of the empty and tantalizing adobe. Limbo has a variety of environments and structures such as green meadows, stone castles, rivers, waterfalls, and mansions. This is where V1 encounters drones, street cleaners, hideous mass, cancerous rodent, V2. And they also get the attacher nail gun, alternate revolver, knuckle blaster. Yeah, drones we already know, street cleaners we also know. Hideous mass. That thing, once it's low, it flips on its back and starts shooting frantically. Yeah, lust. Punishment. Powerful, unrelenting winds. Those who indulge in their passionate desires were admitted to lust. where a heavy windstorm blows them aimlessly and relentlessly. After Minos revolutionized the layer had became home to a bustling city and society. The husk of Lust built sections, buildings either too high for wind, enclosed from the element, built invisible screens, or made shielded tilting to protect open areas from the wind. Homes, art, uh, food production technology, hallmarks of civilization presented to the city of Lust, though no living citizen has ever seen the corpse of King Minos. Has ever seen. The corpse of King Minos, controlled by his loyal serpents, now turned into a massive parasite, stomped around the city, causing destruction in its wake. It is unknown how Lust appeared before the Lust Renaissance. However, it can be assumed the environment also had a iconic purple hue with heavy winds. Some structures in Lust are industrial skyscrapers with connecting bridges, superb hydraulic plants, and subways. This is where V1 encounters soldiers, mind flayers, the titanic corpse of King Minos, and he also acquires the electric rail cannon. Soldiers are these ones. There's the strays but better. Mind flayer. The flying, annoying. Yep, I'm gonna say more. Gluttony. Punishment, flayed alive, dissolved in acid. Those who relish in the excessive consumption of food and drink reside in a layer of gluttony, where the viscera is extracted to line the walls, and their bodies assimilated together in grotesque piles, while stomach acid dissolves and burns away the gore, which sinners' bodies must further replenish. Gluttony has no defined structures besides the random assortment of bones, stale blood, hands, eyes, stomach acid, and other gore and organs. This is where V1 meets the current judge of hell, Archangel Gabriel, soon defeating him, and believing that he could have possibly been beaten by a mere machine, and promises that this is not over. After defeating the Archangel and perfecting the previous layers, V1 can enter the entrance far off in the sanctum within Minos' body, where his soul is imprisoned and can be fought. Hold on. Will we get to there? Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. Like, this is all... By the way, this is all known layers for now. Since we can't do... which one? Fraud and treachery yet. Greed. Punishment, ascendant humanity's monuments while carrying heavy weights. The vicious who hoard and prodigal who waste are punished in greed, carrying stones or other weights up monuments of humankind's achievements, such as the Egyptian pyramids, the American Statue of Liberty, and the London's Big Ben. The enormous sun hangs high in the sky, scorching the endless desert of gold dust. Many statues in Greece resemble Egyptian architecture, but also modern landmarks, including the ephemeral Statue of Liberty and Big Ben. The pyramid also has an interior and outer walkways. This is where V1 encounters Virtues, Stalker, Sisyphean Insurrectionist, and V2 a second time, taking the whiplash from his successor's corpse. Virtues are the angels that uses beams to kill you. Stalkers make cover every enemy around them when they explode in dust to make sure they don't bleed. And the Sisyphean Insurrectionist, that one, and that one. The red one and the blue one you find in Heresy. Yeah, and the whiplash is the green arm. Wrath. Punishment, fight for air or drown in the deep. Those who expressed in an innate hatred in their lives are sent into the lair of wrath. It holds what was once the river of Styx, where the ferryman transported other souls deeper into to their destination. After a mass of human deaths caused a significant influx of souls in the lair, equivalent to torrential rainfall, the river was transformed into a vast ocean. On the surface of the active lothers lash out at each other, fighting for air. On the bottom of the seafloor, the sullen sulk in the mud, eternally drowning. Some ruins are underwater caves, in addition to futuristic airlocks and rooms. On the surface, the entire layer is ocean, fighting sinners to save Small Rock Island, massive stone tower, lighthouse, some wooden cabins and bridges. Underneath the open sea are also jets of water bubbling towards the surface. This is also there's also the boat of the ferryman. If you want to encounter sentries, the ferryman, and the Leviathan here. It also acquires the freeze-framed rocket launcher within the ferryman's ship. Really? You only get sentry... You already get sentries from Lust. The hell do they mean? Oh well. Yeah, sentries is the sniper dudes. Ferryman, I think that speaks for itself. Yeah, and then the big Leviathan. And we know the rocket launcher. Heresy. Punishment, harvested and burned alive. Within the walls of this, heresy residents compromise of those who spread lies and express constant beliefs to Christianity. They are packed tightly into gore, searing hot, and harvested alive. In addition to the passive scalding, heat, and amending from the lava and embers scattered around are the skulls of the sinners packed to the catacombs. One of the two. Skeletons hung up like a ritual sacrifice, and goat skulls with glowing red eyes attached to the walls, sliding gate doors outside the crimson cathedrals in a vast open sky amidst a red fog, housing more towers of a similar design and purpose. Most structures have Gothic attire, pointed arches, red-stained windows, and flying buttress. These structures are primarily used black or gray stone, with some decorated with human or demonic skulls. There are platforms with moving chains over pools of lava or still blood of nothingness. In the skyline, skyscrapers tower over a vast red abyss. On the ground, the alleyway illicit 19th century outer streets with raining blood. V1 fights Gabriel for the second time inside a cathedral. During the fight, the arcade's emotions change from hatred to ecstasy. Being defeated all the same, Gabriel turns to Luna to introspect into his two defeats. V1 continues further into hell. After V1 defeats all previous layers and the soul of Minos, it can enter the city street leading to a lengthy gauntlet before a large room where a long forgotten leader is a prisoner that can be freed and fought. Sisyphus Prime, for the ones that don't know. Yeah. We'll get to the Prime Souls later. Just hold on. We're almost at Prime Souls. Violence. Punishment, various. And this layer is broken up into 4 distinct areas, with each level taking place in one of them. 7-1, Garden of Forking Path, occurs in the name, the Garden of Forking Path. Sinners are doomed to wander in a maze-like environment. Hell oversees it personally, subtly change the corridors to trap sinners in an endless labyrinth, which they become lost in and eventually tire. Once they collapse from exhaustion, they are twisted and mutilated into the mannequins that line the halls. This is also where the ancient Minotaur runs blind through the maze, killing anything in its path, likewise attempting to escape. Punishment: boiling alive in the river of Peglethon. 7-2 Light Up the Night. Contains the various circles of violence. Contains the first circle of violence. Violence against others. This consists of murders, war makers, plunderers, and tyrants. The sinner's punishment used to consist of being immersed in the Peglethon, a river of boiling blood and fire. But likely due to the end of humanity, the overflow of bodies soon filled up the underworld river, creating instead a massive war zone. On top of the corpses of billions bombshells fired from numerous earth movers, and those on the ground crash and destroy the few remaining structures that still sit beneath hills of bodies. Punishment: turned into pain-ridden trees. That's here. Oh, this is from the top of... Yes, so boiling life in the river of Peglethon is there. I think they forgot it from 7-1. 7-3 No Sound, No Memory is located within the second circle of violence. Violence against self. The circle is also known as the Woods of Suicides. Here are a dense haunting forest consists of those who attempted or died from suicide, who are turned into wretched, dead, pulsing trees as their punishment. Their bodies are contorted and mangled into the gnarled stalks, which constantly shriek in agony. Even here, however, it is not safe from the constant warfare that defines the seventh layer. It isn't long before a lone earth mover shows up, bringing with it bombshells. Bringing with it bombshells and bloodshed from the many machines and demons and husks they're fighting amongst themselves. And then punishment turned into pain-ridden trees. 7-4 Like Antennas to Heaven takes place in the third and final circle of violence. Violence against God, art, and nature. Blasphemers, somatites, and usurers are stretched supine, crouched weeping, or run aimlessly to avoid the great balls of fire which rain down from the burning sky above, across miles and miles of scorched pale sand. Though it's seen in game and the sinners are nowhere to be found, likely killed by the war machines that are found across the landscape. It is a desolate wasteland, except for the great earth movers, which fight each other among the barren desert, an unending pointless war, their white lasers stretching across the sky and deadly lightning. The earth movers also serve as a battlefield for its much smaller combatants and in the infinite war of violence. Punishment: stretched supine upon the burning sand, run in circles or crouch huddled and weeping. Fraud: unreleased, treachery: unreleased. Species: husks. Husks are demons that are don't really have a soul, or they have the form depends on the soul's value. Okay, all husks except the corpse of King Minos, the former judge of hell, do not have eyes or are blinded. The reason for this is unknown. And for what's on examples of husks are filth, technically the corpse of King Minos, and the Sisyphean insurrectionist. Yeah, demons. Examples are the Leviathan, mannequins, Minotaur, machines, V1, V2, sentries, street cleaners, mind flayers, drones, swords machine, all of that. Angels, the Gabriel and something, the virtues. But I'm gonna read this since this is pretty interesting. Like machines and stuff, not really. Angels are inhabitants of heaven, with lesser angels being formed from human souls. The basis of lesser angel forming are similar of that of husk, wherein the physical manifestation of the husk is dependent on its value, though unlike for husks, virtuousness also act as a factor for angels. Lesser angels are recognizable by the abstract shapes of their bodies. Supreme angels have a more human-like form, being created in a heaven by God personally. The appearance of a greater angel is unknown, as one is not yet to appear in game. All angels are connected with, contain, and survive off of a power known as holy light. If an angel is separated from the source of this light, it slowly diminishes over the course of 24 hours, after which the angel will finally die. All angels, even the Archangel Gabriel, are vulnerable to this. Some angels, like those who make up the Council of Heaven, have the power to sever an angel from the light themselves. Lesser angels, like virtues, are known to have a multitude of eyes. However, they are sent to hell. They are either hidden or removed. This may relate to a result that husks do not have eyes, and its reason is similarly unknown. Yeah, Prime Souls. Minos Prime and Sisyphus Prime. I can tell this myself since I know this. Minos and Sisyphus are both locked in, but Minos. Okay, the video on the background's ending. I'll just restart it real quick. Loop it. Yeah. So, what's interesting about them is normal demons, they can turn into prime souls. Prime souls, you need to have the power, status, and willpower to come back. Okay. Here. They are a manifestation of pure will, formed by a soul of masses so much power that it no longer requires a husk to manifest physically. Being a manifestation of pure will, when a husk possesses such a soul is killed. Its soul is left behind, and it will begin transforming to a prime soul. The forming of prime souls can be halted, though only known if the method of doing so is trapping the unformed soul inside a specific construct made of flesh, powered by angelic and demonic power. It's assumed that once a prime soul begins forming, nothing can stop it, but it can be paused indefinitely. That's what happened with Sisyphus. It was halted. Like, Sisyphus breaks out. Like, you don't even have to do anything. You could just, like, sit in one place, wait for the yellow bar to go down, and then Sisyphus will break out. For Minos, you need to break the flesh prison, since Minos was not yet forming already. Since the angels didn't think that Sisyphus could, or, like, would become a prime soul. Yeah, Sisyphus is different. Is different, since Minos had pure hatred for Gabriel. Like, you can also hear it in his voice. Hold on. Here. I'll just let him talk himself.
Free at last. Oh, Gabriel, now dawns thy reckoning, and thy gore shall glisten before the temples of man. Creature of steel, my gratitude upon thee for my freedom. But the crimes thy kind have committed against humanity are not forgotten. And thy punishment is death.
Yeah, the last part, that one isn't really. Oh, that one isn't really important. What's important is what he says about Gabriel. Since Gabriel was the one to lock him in, so he has hatred for Gabriel. And in game funny thing, in the sandbox, if you make Gabriel and Minos fight, Minos would win. Like Minos Prime would win. I tried it out. Like I want to give Minos satisfaction of winning. But yeah, Sisyphus. Oh yeah, wait. All the weapons. Like I won't do the weapons. I will do um the page of Minos and like Prime, Minos Prime and Sisyphus Prime. Minos spelling mistake. Minos Prime is the second boss of P-1, and it is the prime soul of King Minos, forming after California is destroyed. He is a blue translucent humanoid with a visible circularity system and heart. Two snakes wrapped around his arms, and a hole in his face, and a crucible crown fused into his head. Yeah, he has a few attacks. He has a dropkick box. Like you can read all this. I wanted lore. Yeah, okay, I'll read the data terminal thing. Type Prime Soul. Data. A Prime Soul is an incredibly rare occurrence in which a soul amasses so much power that it is no longer requires a husk or as a vessel to manifest physically. As a manifestation of pure will, Prime Souls are incredibly powerful, to the point where even prideful angels see them as a threat and will use any means necessary to stop them from forming. King Minos felt that eternal suffering was unfair and unreasonable punishment for those only sin was loving another. After the disappearance of God, as angels were lost and heaven was in chaos, Minos began his efforts to reform the lust layer. The lust renaissance was purpose was prosperous, as King Minos guided its inhabitants to come together and build a new civilization. The combined efforts of the countless who had been down to the second layer bore great results in the grand city of Lust as the grand city of Lust grew. However, after the council took control of heaven and brought stability to it through their iron fist rule, they saw that Minos had gone against the will of gone against the god's will by freeing sinners from punishment that God had designed for them. Gabriel, the brightest of the angels, was sent to kill Minos, the king. Rather than fight back, tried to reason with him, but Gabriel mercilessly struck him down without listening. As Minos' will was strong enough to attempt to stand up to heaven's rule, the angels chose to imprison his soul in an attempt to stop it from forming to a prime soul, and appointed to Gabriel as the new judge of hell. From the prison inside his own body, Minos helplessly watched as his soulless corpse, now controlled by parasites, tore apart everything he had worked so hard to build, cursing his own weakness for failing to protect his people, vowing to take revenge. Yeah. Yeah, wait. This is what he says when he loses to us. Oh. Sorry, I forgot to unmute the sound.
Forgive me, my children, for I have failed to bring you salvation from this cold, dark world.
Yeah, so he actually feels a lot of regret for not had like, for not being able to do more for the people of Lust. We have another Prime Soul, Sisyphus Prime, who can go from this guy to Beard. Sisyphus Prime is the second boss of P-2. First boss. There isn't another boss. The Prime Soul of and is the Prime Soul of King Sisyphus, being liberated after the flesh panopticon is destroyed. He is orange translucent. Yeah, that's Yeah, I'll read the data entry or terminal entries, and that's the only part where I see lore in this. Though Minos was intelligent and persuasive, he was also a gentle and noble man. Such values mattered little to Sisyphus, who would gladly lie, cheat, or kill if that's what needed to protect his comrades. In a hubristic show of power, heaven decided that the only correct punishment for his sins would be breaking his will, by subjecting him to an unending and impossible task, unaware of just how tenacious the spite of man can be. For thousands of years, Sisyphus bided his time, suffering his punishment day after day, without any sign of regret or remorse, waiting for the perfect chance to strike and subvert heaven's tyrannical rule. With the disappearance of God and the chaos in heaven, Sisyphus' time had finally come. Once the angels returned, they were met with the force and fury that had boiled in the hearts of men for millennia. The war cry so fierce, it shook the very foundations of hell. It was all for naught, however, as Sisyphus' charisma and drive had made his warriors dependent on his radiance and guidance. Although he did not know why yet, Gabriel recognized this flaw, having experienced it firsthand, and ordered a focused assault to take down the king. He unsheathed his sword for the first time since the immortal and beheaded Sisyphus, displaying his head for all to see. The morale of Sisyphus' army was broken, and the rest of the war was little more than a formality without the shining beacon. The failure of the insurrection was no surprise, however, and few knew that better than Sisyphus himself. He knew that he was fighting a losing battle. He knew that if they miraculously survived this encounter, they had no chance of winning a full-scale war against heaven. Yet he thrust his full heart and soul into battle with a wide smile on his face. To him, fighting an impossible battle with full knowledge of its futility and taking joy in just the act of resistance itself is the ultimate rebellion against the oppressor. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. But yeah, then we have an intro speech. Wait.
This prison to hold me, a visitor. Indeed, I have slept long enough. The kingdom of heaven has long since forgotten my name, and I am eager to make them remember. However, the blood of Minos stains your hands, and I must admit, I'm curious about your skills, weapon, and so Before I tear down the cities and crush the armies of heaven, you shall do as an appetizer. Come forth, child of man, and die. So concludes the life and times of King Sisyphus. A fitting end to an existence defined by futile struggle, doomed from the very start. And I don't regret a second of it.
Yeah, so as you heard, he didn't regret a single freaking second of anything he did, even as he died for the like third time. But yeah, yeah, and then you have some joke bosses like Big Jonathan, Mysterious Druid Knight, and Owl, Very Cancerous Rodent, that stuff. Further, I have covered every single bit of lore, like the full lore that is known for now. Shut up. Yeah, there will be more lore eventually, but yeah, I hope you will enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.